What is up, my friends on the internet? Back at it with another video, and yet again you join me with the Honda Super Cub. It has been 2 years since I started riding and making videos on this particular Honda Super Cub, so I figured it's a good time to check in and kind of readdress or revisit my review of this bike. Full 2 years is a long time. Some opinions have changed, so today we're going to go take it to the urban environment where this bike belongs, and I'm going to give you my 2-year review on Honda's Super Cub C125. Let's get into it. Okay, so 2 years with the Honda Super Cub, it's kind of flown by. This bike has played kind of a weird role in the stable. It's just kind of ever present in the background. When I first got this bike, I said I was going to do no modification to it. When I first started riding it, I said that this bike is just going to stay stock. There's not really any reason to modify this bike, and that has proven true. 0 mods have gone on this Honda Super Cub. I, for a while, was planning to just build it out just to do something on the channel, just to have some content. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I would be replacing parts or adding things that the bike just doesn't need. If anything at all, it needs a phone holder. Right now I have no way to actually look at my phone on this bike, but that is totally fine. It has been perfectly okay. I run a Bluetooth headset on my helmet, so if anything, I just listen to directions through that, keep my phone in my pocket, and it's cool. Kind of one of the shortcomings that does jump out about this bike is that there's not really a great place to put a phone mount. A lot of the other mini motos like the Honda Grom or the Honda Trail that you've seen on this channel have a standard handlebar, so you can just attach a RAM mount or a quad lock or whatever your preferred phone holder is to the handlebar, and you're good to go. But this bike has the headset. The headset is beautiful. It looks really nice. I love the design aspect of it. It reminds me of the vintage Vespas or even the modern Vespas that are near and dear to my heart, but they don't allow for you to just clamp on like that. You are kind of limited to attaching to the mirror stalk, and the mirrors on the Honda Super Cub and all the Honda mini motos for that matter have a problem of just wiggling themselves loose. They like shaking loose. That's just a thing that they do. And adding a phone carrier to that kind of already unstable situation isn't my favorite. I've done it in the past, and I just found that the mirrors loosened up even more. I was constantly having to Loctite or tighten them down. Not a major problem. It is a first world problem for sure, but I just didn't want to deal with it. It was unnecessary. Unnecessary money spent on a holder I wasn't going to use all that much. Unnecessary strain on the little stem here, so never did it. You can, it's fine. I've seen lots of videos where people do it, or lots of videos where people are riding this bike and running that phone carrier for miles and miles and miles with no issue, but I decided not to. So I'm trying to get up this hill. I'm in second gear. We're at 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour. We are accelerating in second gear to 40 miles an hour. I click over into third, and it's kind of just stopped at 40. We're not really gaining, but we are still climbing the hill at 40 miles an hour, which is pretty good for a dude that weighs almost 190 pounds being pulled by a 125cc air-cooled bike. Air cooling a motorcycle is not the best way to make power, and only giving it 125 cc's isn't the best way to have a ton of torque, but it got me up that hill just fine. And along with traffic, just mobbing along, no issues at all. This light is green and they are not going, so I'm gonna go around, much like that bicycle should do. But the bike handles it. Now we're going on a slight decline, 40 miles an hour, and then increasing in speed. We can go to 45, we can probably hit 50. I'm gonna back off a little bit here, click over into fourth because I don't wanna be speeding. But you can see this road is your standard city road, neighborhood road. We're blasting around, it's good. It can handle it just fine. The 35, or I'd say 25 to 35 mile an hour roads you see in neighborhoods here really are this bike's happy place. It can go faster. On this video you'll see me go faster, but this is where it's happy, just cruising around residential streets, surface streets with like a 35 mile an hour speed limit or lower. I did take a 40 mile an hour road earlier today and it was fine. It really ultimately comes down to your size and elevation gains. On the flat, 45, 50 all day long at my weight. For reference, I'll roll in some video of me either here or later on getting on the bike and kind of showing my dimensions with it. Bro, what are you doing? It's your turn. Let's go. What are you waiting on? Idiot. Put your phone down, drive your car. I'll roll in some footage of me getting on and off the bike just so you can kind of see my height and how I fit it. But I am 186 pounds at 5'11" with a 32-inch inseam. So I'm a little bigger and a little heavier than the intended market for this bike. And that shows on hills. A lot of people make comments about this transmission needing a fifth gear, and I will honestly say when I first got the bike, it was something that didn't even like occur to me really. I had been riding the Honda Trail, I had ridden like many motos with 4-speed transmissions, and all vintage Vespas ever had 4-speed transmissions, at least all the ones that I ever had, so it wasn't a big deal. So I got this bike, it was just another bike with a 4-speed, not an issue at all. But over time, I have found myself kind of missing that fifth gear that was on my Honda Grom. I've probably rolled in pictures already in this video, but here's another one, if not. I built this Honda Grom, 5-speed manual transmission like all of them have now, and it was great. I really loved that bike. I loved the clutch on it, but this bike is cool that it has the semi-auto, but I do wish that at some point they would marry those two things and make a semi-auto 5-speed transmission. I think that would be a hit, Honda. But now that I've been just kind of doing aimless wandering miles, I think it would be really nice to have that fifth gear. I don't believe, if Small Bike Stuff is watching this right now, you let me know because you're the guy that would know, but I don't believe Honda currently makes a 5-speed semi-auto transmission. If they do, it needs to be in this bike eventually. It would be a hit. I really do like the 4-speed, like I said, and I like the semi-auto, but that fifth gear would really be nice for the cruising. I think it would be able to space out the gears a little nicer to where you can get up into that high gear and just kind of have like an overdrive or a cruising gear, because sometimes I'll be traveling the perfect speed for my like purpose in fourth gear, but the revs will be kind of high. It'd be nice just to click one more gear, drop those revs, and just be like kind of cruising, you know? One thing that I don't believe I mentioned in any of my initial coverage of this bike was the suspension. It is fairly rudimentary, nothing really special going on with it, but I actually really like it. It is just soft and comfortable. Like right now I'm riding down a pothole-ridden street and it is smooth. It is handling it just fine. It can get a little bouncy over some of the stuff, but I'd rather a bounce than a jarring hit, you know? I have only bottomed this bike out off-road. I've never done it on like a major street. It is pretty good over these manhole covers, potholes, dips in the road. It handles it. It's really nice. I believe these bikes are really well priced considering the amount of technology you get, the amount of features you get. You got ABS, you got keyless ignition, you got beautiful fit and finish. You get really nice Honda quality and reliability for under $4,000, which is a bargain. I'm going to downshift again. I was just trying to roll off in second, which you can do. It has enough power to pull away from a light in second, but I like pulling off a little harder, so we down-clicked. But yeah, I think the price is fair. I think the price is really fair for what you're getting. If you are looking for the cheapest way to ride around, absolutely, you're not getting yourself a Honda. You're going to get probably a Kymco. Kymcos are, I would say, one of the cheapest ways to get some transportation that's not going to just break down on you. Kymcos, or maybe even Genuine Scooter Company, they make a bunch of different stuff, some of which aren't scooters, but I think they are a good way to get budget transportation. This is not budget transportation. This is a really nice 125 for a relatively reasonable price. Their goal here wasn't to make the cheapest motorcycle possible. Their goal was to keep a really nice quality production line in production and offer you a good high quality machine. if they were trying to make it cheaper, it would be just like the one we see in other markets, where it has spoked wheels, it has a regular key. There's things that they gave to the American market to make it nicer, not to make it cheaper. Heading down one of the many janky, potholy, under tunnel bridge situations that Atlanta has to offer. The bike's handling it well. I am going very fast. We are at 50 miles an hour and accelerating. If you think this bike is slow, you are out of your mind, my friends. This is plenty around town. Are you getting on the highway? No. But are you going way over the speed limit on surface streets? You could. Not that I am, but you could. So far, I've been riding for about 2 hours, and I haven't had any issues where I felt like the bike was too slow or not equipped for this inner city ride, except for there was one very, very steep hill, just like right as I was entering the thick of things, and the bike did slow down to 30 miles an hour, which is fine. The speed limit was 35, but on those long stretches of road here, even if the speed limit is 30, 35, you can imagine people are going to be going 45, 50. So cars were gaining on me, cars were going around me. Nobody was honking or being a dick, so I wasn't going that slow, but it was still unnerving to be like completely wide open and not have anything left in the tank, you know? But ultimately, I would say it handles it fine. If you are in a situation where you live in the inner city and you want to do all your errands or ride around, absolutely consider this bike. Like I said, it's not the cheapest way to get around, but it is a really nice way to get around for a reasonable amount of money. It can handle it, and if you absolutely do want to go on tour, just hit on those bicycle there routes on Google Map, and you can find a decent route that keeps you on the lower speed roads, and you'll be absolutely fine. The aftermarket for this bike is so huge. There's luggage, there's passenger seats, there's power mods, there's all kinds of things you can do to this bike if you're wanting to get into tinkering. I personally have other bikes for tinkering. I have many projects, many things that are requiring my time and my money and my effort to make them different. So this bike has stayed completely bone stock, like I said, and I haven't regretted that decision once. The bike is nice and nimble though, so you can completely avoid speed bumps. In regards to fuel economy, this bike has been producing about 125 miles per gallon for me. A lot of miles per gallon. It holds a little over a gallon of gas, so you're getting pretty decent range. The range on this bike, oddly, is identical to my much bigger Triumph Scrambler 900, simply because this bike is so fuel efficient. Despite having a third of the gas, same range before I'm pulling over to get some. So kind of cool. If you're trying to pinch pennies in that regard, not too shabby at all. And as far as insurance goes, we are paying, I believe, $17, $27, something under $30 a month, or insurance for full coverage with this, collision, comprehensive, the beans. And that is in an inner city neighborhood where theft risk is huge, so there's a lot of kind of insurance hikes for that. But that is really cheap. Depending on your credit, your down payment, your buy price, whatever, you can get this bike for under $100 a month. Finance, let's say $75 a month, and then you get $25 insurance. $100 a month for transportation isn't bad, especially considering the fact that the average person's only going to have to get gas once or twice a month on it for the tune of like $5. So realistically, $110 a month could handle all of an inner city person's transportation needs on this motorcycle, and that ain't bad at all. Definitely something to consider. All right, we're going to try a little top speed run here because I think this is as straight as I'm going to get. I'm at 45 miles an hour now. A slight decline is coming. We're going to get into tuck. That is 50 miles an hour, and we're going to go into fourth, and 55 miles an hour, and we are at 58-ish miles an hour. Just touched 60 miles an hour, and the hill is coming up. We're going uphill, so down to 50 miles an hour so far because of this incline. Like I said, the inclines are this bike's nemesis, but right now we are holding 50 miles an hour indicated, and I'm gaining on traffic. I actually have to get off the throttle because I caught up to the traffic.
With one of your keys, you're gonna see a little piece of plastic. That little piece of plastic has a number on it, and that number will allow you to start the bike without a key. If you hold the button in for 4 seconds, it will go into that mode, and then you will essentially type in the number on that little strip using this ignition. If you have a 1, you will press the button and hold it once and then let go. You'll wait a couple seconds, it will beep, and then you will enter the next number. If it's a 2, you'll go 1, 2, and then wait, it'll beep, and you'll do that. There's plenty of videos on this online, but that is a really helpful thing. I'm not gonna kill a bunch of time by going through it right now, but you can start the bike without a key using that number. The ABS works really great. Don't ask me how I know, just trust me on that one. It will save your butt. The heat shield works incredibly. This bike was just running for a while and my hand is chilling on it with no problem at all. Great unit there. The sight glass to check your oil is right there, and this is just a plug, not a dipstick. You got to use the sight glass. The bike is equipped with a center stand, and I highly recommend using it because it is amazing. Great on Honda for including that. The button to open your seat and access your gas tank are here. You've got 2 helmet hooks there and there. That will work if you lock the seat on the D-ring of your helmet. And to access your tools, you push that button there. This engine is relatively low compression, so if you set it on the center stand and you need to bump start it, you can do that without actually rolling the bike. You can put it on that stand, grab the wheel, and just yank it on. If you force the wheel to spin, it will fire up the engine, kind of like pull starting your lawnmower. Don't let this chain guard fool you. That chain is still getting really, really filthy in there. You're gonna wanna make sure you're hitting that up. I recommend every 500 miles, get this guard off, clean and lube that chain, and check that it's in spec for tension. All right, my friends, that is it. My 2-year check-in on Honda's Super Cub C125. If you liked this video or if you found it helpful at all, go ahead and hit thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe for me. I would appreciate that greatly. And last but not least, if you're thinking about getting this bike, just run out and do it. You will not regret it. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Peace.